right, welcome to Gen X Rated Tuesday edition. How we doing, Billy?
Oh, pretty good. Pretty good. Good to be back.
Awesome. Good to have you back
Mm-hmm.
on this sunny spring day. It's not sure
Oh,
if we're
beautiful day.
getting into summer or what. It's like 80s and it's 40s, then it's 80s. I don't know. Tough to
Yeah, it got a
figure
little
out.
chilly last night.
Yeah, 40s overnight. But I am loving the sunshine. Makes me wonder if I need to live someplace that's sunny all the time just so I'm not depressed.
I don't know. The problem is, especially now, any place that's sunny all the time and nice either doesn't have enough water or it's too expensive.
It's a great point. Yeah. Yeah, water. That's a real thing. I mean, we're soon to be finding that out with oil, which, as you said the other day about cheap gas and cheap food, we're starting to see none of that,
Hmm.
and it's just not super sustainable for most of us.
That's when Americans get upset.
So I'm hoping that they're paying attention because it's happening. We're gaslit every day. We watch Trump have something. Yesterday was on maternity, Trump babies,
Yeah, and he fell
etc.
asleep right after it.
Did he? Somebody said he was blinking. Okay, you don't know. I mean, the
Right?
guy was practically in REM sleep, so I don't understand when they talk about how he was blinking. He looked out cold, just
They
not
are,
even.
yeah, they are just full on cult members now. Just, oh, he's wide awake. He's hearing everything you say.
I guess. I mean, I had a teacher in grade school, Mr. Grubb, and every time he talked, he closed his eyes and talked like this, and it was a little strange, but at least he was talking.
Yeah, and not sleeping.
This guy is definitely asleep.
Oddly enough, he slept with his eyes open.
He might have. I don't know. My point being, this guy's definitely out cold. I don't know how you want to disguise it, how you can make this shit up. Just barely hanging on. And I think we've all been there before where you're like starting to doze, you start your pecking corn, and then you're out.
Oh,
But
yeah.
the Sleepy Don has taken this to a new science. And I'm going to see if I can put this up without ruining everything like last time. But I think it's worth it. I definitely think he's sleeping. Everybody else is carrying on, and they don't care. Nobody seems to really care about this guy. I think mainly that's because maybe he's a terrible person, but they're getting their agenda done. That's really the big thing here.
Oh yeah, he's just he was their entryway, their spearhead into the system.
Well, he doesn't quite get that, but I do think that he certainly serves a purpose. Here's
Hmm.
Sleepy Peepee coming up here in a minute. I mean, you can see Brit in the backgrounds laughing. It's not super quiet for a guy to be like drifting off. This is the I'm fighting it stage. Say that he's
Yeah.
blinking, whatever you want. I don't know. He looks sleepy.
Hmm.
Biden would not have gotten a pass on that. So,
No.
you know, there you go. They use words like a fertility crisis. That was Dr. Oz. Trump had a conversation with Britt, the senator from Alabama, who's kind of a weirdo herself. And now he knows everything about fertility. He's the fertility president. RFK brought up the fact that sperm counts are down half from the 70s. I don't know if he's talking about himself, but he's kind of a weirdo as well. But the issue isn't about having kids, it's about affordability. We know that you're
Kids are
not going to get
expensive.
prenatal care. Super expensive to raise a kid. And I'm
Hmm.
dating myself, but it's been a while where it was a couple $100,000, and that's bare minimum, I would guess.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But there's no paternity prenatal care. There's no paternity leave. There's no help after the kid comes out.
No
Um,
free daycare.
yeah, maybe a grandparent could step in. It's just not realistic. So if you're asking and you're calling this a crisis, then maybe do something like California did, where diapers are now free for the first 9 months, maybe 12 months. Uh, it's a good place to start. We just don't do enough of
Hmm.
that. So again, distraction, keep us away from the Epstein files. You heard nothing about the Disney crew. cruise crew that was caught filming child pornography, because I guess it's the norm.
What? Holy shit! I didn't see that. That is holy fuck.
Google it. It's disturbing, but with everything else, we just kind of brush it away. Not that big a deal. I mean, look at this Hantavirus. We have what, 18 of them? I think 17 total. 18 Americans returned to the U.S. One of the 18 had tested positive for the virus. It used to be that it wasn't person to person. You had to be near the rodent feces or whatever. Not a thing. These people on this cruise ship got it from close contact. Most of them went to Nebraska, the Nebraska Medical Center. Those that couldn't, I think there were 2 that had to go to Emory in Atlanta. The reason I talk about this is because the incubation on this virus is 6 to 8 weeks. Could be up to 42 to 56 days.
Whoa.
These people are staying there for observation, but they're free to leave if you don't want to stay, and then you could confine yourself at home.
Well, yeah. And how many of these people can expect? Excuse me, I'm sounding like RFK. Can you expect to like voluntarily stay there when you probably have to get home? You've probably got a job to go to. You've probably got bills to pay, responsibilities. Maybe you've got to pick up your dog.
You just came off a cruise ship. You're right.
Yeah. So your vacation time's probably up. I mean, this is just.
And we kind of have an indifference to others' issues, like, kind of his problem until it's your problem. We say that all the time with healthcare, that if you're not struggling or having somebody that's having an issue with it, you just can't even comprehend, because you really aren't looking into it and don't really care. To your point, nobody's going to stay at home for 42 days. It's not survivable when you have work, when you have to pay bills, etc. So just go out and mingle with the public, I guess. I don't know. Sounds like a disaster.
Just waiting to happen. Yeah.
And at the same time, we're hearing that this administration or regime had the FDA suppress all kinds of vaccine safety tests that they had done. One of them was COVID-19, the vaccine. It was through Medicaid. So they had like 7.5 million participants showing the safety studies as to these vaccines. But that's not something we want to talk about or advertise, right? I mean, like, how are we going to step up to the plate with something as serious as this Hantavirus if we won't even deal with our past when it came to COVID?
Well, I mean, my understanding was the vaccine was pretty safe.
We got it.
We got it, yeah, twice.
Yeah. So
of course, I did get COVID 3 times, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, well, a lot of people said they never got it, and I'm just assuming most of them didn't test.
Didn't test or didn't know, yeah.
Sure, and that happens too. It's not, maybe they weren't actively sick, that's for sure. But again, burying your head in the sand doesn't change anything. Being bombarded with misinformation certainly doesn't help any of us. And then we switch over to something else. Let's jump to the Lincoln pool, because
Lincoln pool.
the reflecting pool. This was something in 2010 through 2012. It took a couple years. Obama had done major renovations on it, $38 million in renovations. I don't think it was a cohort of his, but then Trump comes later, says it's disgusting and gross and needed to be fixed because he knows a guy. Best pool guy ever, only going to cost $1.5 million was what he started with. Soon thereafter, he had no idea who that guy was. What? I don't know him. Kind of ridiculous. And then at the end of the day, this is what he wants it to look like. It's called American Flag Blue. Wow. I mean, is that something?
That's something, all right.
It's really something. The original, and this is in the courts now, because not only did Trump give this company $7 million, not $1.5 million on April 3rd, but then last week he added another 6.2 million on May 8th to bring the total to $13.1 million. built into that is a 20% guarantee to the pool guy. I'm sure Trump's getting his grift off that too, because I don't even know him. Keep in mind, it was a no bid contract that they gave to his pool guy. And it was bypassed by Congress by arguing that it was so urgent that a delay could cause serious injuries. So we got.
How did that argument even fly? Isn't there somebody that says that's total bullshit? No. What? Jesus Christ! And how many no work and no show jobs came along with that no bid contract? Polly Walnuts wants to know.
I know, right? I can give you 2 no shows, and
maybe I can do 3. Yeah.
It's just crazy. I don't know. I guess nobody pushed back. It then becomes an executive order, which he thinks are laws, which they're not.
No.
But it's just crazy. So part of this is a state-of-the-art ozone nanobladder filtration system. And then he also wants to have a dedicated crew who will maintain the grounds from wildlife. So, picture a guy standing at the steps with a shotgun, just waiting for birds or whatever.
Gonna kill all the gophers.
Whatever varmint might be coming around. I mean, it's just crazy. Like, we discount the forestry and the people of the forestry industry and the parks, and then we want to say, hey, let's pay a guy to kill the wildlife around the reflecting pool. You know what I reflect on?
Reflecting pool. It's not blue enough. And it's a serious emergency.
Somebody could have been injured. Definitely a thing. But it's just, as you always say, just not serious people. To that point, Carrie Lake, who tried to crush Voice of America, which we patentedly supported. It was kind of our soft influence around the world. Everything. She fired so many people, hundreds of people. Went in front of a judge, said that she wasn't appointed correctly and didn't have the power to do that. So she's out. I believe those people are working, but I think it's still only in 3 languages, which isn't super helpful. But the part that I wanted to talk about was the fact that now she's been put forth as the ambassador to Jamaica. She loves the people of Jamaica. She wants to make good relationships.
Let's send the whitest woman in the world to Jamaica.
Jamaica, man. Yeah. Again, just not real serious. Really doesn't matter. I mean, Jared Kushner's dad, who's an ex-convict, not that people can't be rehabilitated, though he seems kind of devilish.
Yeah, I think that guy's pretty much incorrigible. I don't think you're rehabilitating that slime ball.
He's our ambassador to France because, whatever I can do for you.
Yeah. What can I do for you? What can I do for Trump?
Again, the same guy that hired an escort to bust his brother-in-law having sex with her and then sending it to his sister.
Right before a birthday party.
Well, when else would you do it? Gee,
now's the time for the big reveal.
Yeah, your husband's a pig. But
he likes the whores.
Yeah. Well, all I'm saying is just not great people. And we're starting to
good people.
Starting to get that rot from the top. We kind of see what the Supreme Court ruled about these gerrymandering districts. We've never seen elections stop during a war or the COVID virus, but we are seeing them stopping the count now. We talked about this last week. Maybe it's a dry run to see if we can do this if things are going poorly and Elon can't make his magic numbers work. But in 2022, the Supreme Court stepped in Alabama and said, hey, it's too close to a primary. This was 4 months before an election. We can't do this yet. Now it's 1 week before the primary in Alabama, and they're like, you know what? Stop the vote.
Well, and then you had the election in Louisiana that had already been decided. Well, yeah, no.
Well, there was already... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, you basically stole votes. Every person that voted in there had their vote stolen.
Well, and I saw the governor was being interviewed and said that this wasn't his fault. He's just following the law because they drew new maps and we have to use those new maps. But to your point, 35,000 Democrats and 32,000 Republicans had already voted, have those votes thrown out. So will they get to revote? What's the system in place for sending out, ballots again? Like, what are we doing? And essentially, we're just trying to quiet the anybody but the white man's vote, essentially.
The white Christian nationalist man.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Mm-hmm.
It is interesting that this is also in Project 2025, trying to limit political participation of Black and other marginalized communities. The hope is that it will significantly discourage both census participating, which we do every 5 years now, I guess, instead of 10, and voter engagement. What can I do? Why even bother type of thing. It works right into their favor. It also weakens the Department of Justice's capacity to defend voter rights. There's nothing to defend if a voter doesn't have rights. This DOJ doesn't really care about that, but say in the future we do have one that cares about people's rights. Could be an issue.
Could be a very huge issue.
So I said the other day, I feel like if you were in a gerrymandered district, but you still believed in the policies of the opposite aisle, that you would vote accordingly, that you wouldn't pile on when you know that this is wrong. But that's a big ask, frankly.
It's a big ask, and it's a very big if. You just don't know with some of these people. Especially
behind the curtain, right?
Mm-hmm.
To that point, I did want to talk about the economy a little bit. Inflation in April was up 3.8%. It's the first time in 3 years that wages no longer outpace inflation. This seems to be a trend. There were a couple of, just for pricing and food sake, Kentucky Fried Chicken, a 6-piece chicken tender is about $20. Whoa. No sides, no drink. This isn't a value meal. It's just tenders. A 16-piece meal is $55, and a bucket of chicken is $50 at KFC. $50 for a bucket of chicken parts, maybe.
What do you think that used to be when we would have, like, sometimes on Sunday when Murr would take us? You get the bucket of chicken and some sides. You get the parfait.
Yeah.
You got the beans. You got the mashed potatoes. How much? That could have been more than $20.
I guarantee it was. He had some kind of coupon from the paper. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, $50. Get the fuck out of here. Are you kidding me?
Bucket of chicken. Yeah, pretty crazy. What I did find is that the largest shareholder of KFC is BlackRock, Vanguard, and JP Morgan. So these private equity companies, have their claws into a lot of this. I did see where Mobil and Shell Oil have come out to Costco and Walmart and mentioned that they have no more motor oil to send. Again, this is directly off the war. Soon you'll have bare shelves, and that's not going to be months down the road. We're looking at a couple weeks at this point. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's something that is, we haven't seen since the pandemic.
Yeah,
Americans don't like bare shelves.
Well, and gas levels lowest in 10 years. So we're artificially suppressing our oil prices, and we're exporting all of our oil to make money as opposed to tend to our own backyard. He's depleting 1.4 million barrels a day from the strategic reserve, which we weren't going to touch, and then he's selling it to foreigners. So it's not even really benefiting here, but it's benefiting somewhere.
Dude, that right there is a threat to national security, and he should be impeached for that. And yet they won't do it. I don't get it.
They talked about unless we allow for true pricing, which we will see in the Midwest, $5 a gallon, that will happen, and then try and curb it. I'm sorry?
It's well on its way.
Yeah,
$4.39.
I paid $4.40 this morning for half a tank of gas. But unless we start curbing the demand, we could hit tank bottom, which is no oil in our reserves, in July. That's not too far away. I don't know how you're going to do the Great American Road Trip if you don't have any gas.
How are you going to get to work? How are the trucks that stock the supermarket shelves when there's something to put on the shelf? How are they going to get there? Dude, this is... Again, there is a demented, insane, kleptomania narcissist running this country, and they're just letting him do it. That's a threat to national security. It's a threat to everybody. And but Trump's making money, so he's the greatest, and we love him.
Trump and Lutnick and Bassin,
and all his cronies, they're all along for the ride, and they're all involved in this debacle.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we can't even agree if somebody tried to actually assassinate him. Last night, he went on his Truth Social about how they took little Rubio instead of him first. What? I'm the president. Jeez. Little Rubio. I did bring up the Great American Road Trip because this was brought up yesterday about Duffy, the transportation secretary, who decided to take his family of 9 children on a little road trip. 7-month-long road trip, said to be taxpayer funded. He did come out and say the radical, miserable left noticed our awesome trailer and they hate it. It was a 4-minute trailer. I did watch it. I found it pretty off-putting and out of touch. It was privately funded, is what he said, but our transportation secretary was on the road for 7 months, not necessarily doing his job, as we saw lines at TSA, people being sucked into plane engines. Our whole thing with air traffic control in its own right has been a mess. Now, he says he fixed everything and it's the best system ever, but you were on the road for 7 months. Now you're lecturing Americans, hey, you should hit the road too. Turn off your screens and hang out with your family. I will point out that they were driving in a Toyota. Yeah, so
of course,
not an American car. I am a big fan of Toyota, but if you ever notice, Toyota doesn't do rentals. There's no rental car places that have Toyotas, and for the most part, and that your Secretary of Transportation is driving around in a Toyota saying how great everything is a little nutty.
It's a lot nutty, but again, it all starts at the top. They see Trump not doing his job, not showing up for work, going off golfing, and they're like, you know what? I can get away with that too, because nobody's really keeping tabs on me.
And I'm with my family, so it's a real wholesome thing. They did end up going on a cruise ship, which I thought was kind of weird. And again, they tried to defend it, saying, "Oh, the kids were on spring break, some of this, and some of it was weekends." Hey, great! You want to piece together your documentary about how amazing your life is with your 9 kids and traveling the country? That's fantastic. But this isn't the '60s, man. We're not all traveling west. We all can't afford gas. Saturday, the average cost of gas was $4.53 a gallon. That's up $2.98 from when this war began. That's a lot. And, the way our country's laid out, everybody's driving to get to where they're going. A little disheartening to see that he spends his time doing that when all this other stuff's happening and we're all kind of feeling it, except for him. To that point, I did want to talk about really quick. We talked about the cars and how they hated the kill switch that what's his name? Max. I want to say Cleveland, but it was Zeller, not Zeller. Zeldin. Lee
Zeldin, yeah.
Talking about the kill switch. We hate that thing. It stops your car. What are you doing? You're not polluting enough, and you should be burning more gas. If you don't like it, you can press the button. You don't have to worry about it. But the interesting part was that all these new cars that are coming out in 2027, we talked about, will have control over where you're looking, your body movements, and to see if you're okay to drive. And if you're not, then the car is going to tell you to pull it over, buddy. And if you don't, it will, because it can. What I found interesting was that AutoZone Auto Parts and O'Reilly Auto Parts are closing 700 of their stores. A lot of people, can keep cars going a long time. The older model cars can be worked on. It's not everything's computerized where you can't change out your, brakes or your fuel filter or whatever. Closing these stores is an issue, but ownership behind these stores, interesting to me, was Vanguard and BlackRock. Again, these private equity firms that are also highly invested in Ford and General Motors. So when you're rolling out your new cars in 2028 without the kill switch, because people hate that, conservation of any type. Now we're going to start thinning out the older cars that people might hang on to longer. We have a car out front that's going on 20 years old.
Running like a champ.
Yes, knock on wood. You can maintain these things. But I think the point is to get rid of all the old and start making money off the new. And one of the things that I saw that are part of that is that you no longer get your dashboard for you. CarPlay, gone. You plug it in. You used to pop up on your screen and you could listen to music. You could text. You could navigate. Now it's going to be a subscription. Now you have to pay for that. You want to use your Spotify that you're already paying for? You got to pay. Apple Music, you got to pay us. And again, it's these behind the scenes equity firms that are really kind of controlling the pricing and making all this cash.
Yeah. And, don't forget, we talked about this before. Their business model is to basically hollow it out to make as much cash as they can, much like a virus does. A virus gets into the host and it replicates, it does its thing until the host is dead, then it moves on.
It's pretty.
It's hollowed out. These equity firms are literally killing this country. They're just hollowing it out, making as much as they can, and then they'll leave behind, fucking chaos and shattered lives.
For sure. And we saw this, it's been going on for the last 5 to 10 years with single family homes, right?
Mm-hmm.
They started buying them up and then you get outpriced. Most recently, they started buying mobile home parks and then pumping up the rent and forcing those people out. It is a mobile home. It does have wheels. You don't have to go home, which you already are, but you can't stay here.
You can't keep it here because you don't own the land. We own the land. So beat it.
Yeah. And that to me, like you're kicking people when they're down, when you're taking away their housing because it is mobile.
Yeah, they are. So you and your rich cronies can get even wealthier. It's obscene.
Yeah. And to your point, there are Trump's going to China. I think he'll be there the 14th and 15th. He's taking Tim Cook with him from Apple. He's taking the Goldman Sachs folk, the Citibank people. It's all this Elon, of course. I mean, give me a break, of course.
Oh, yeah.
All the big wigs, but he's not taking anybody with him that might support unions or the labor force or middle management for that matter.
Not interested.
Got a lot to talk about with China, but I'm sure the billionaires will, take care of the people as well.
Oh, yeah. They're looking out for us.
Not likely. And I did want to point out that I saw this locally, a gentleman that we know did very well with an oil or an energy company in our town. Really nice guy, but he made $14 million last year. The shareholders are really happy. They increased his salary, which is super. But my point being that a CEO used to make 20 times what a worker makes. Now they're making 300 times what a worker makes. So you basically don't have a middle class, and I'm happy for him. Great job. I know he's into renewables as well. That's super. But it's so skewed that even a person working 70 hours a week can still qualify as being at the poverty level. Yeah, 70 hours a week. Why even bother if you're still going to be in poverty? Where's the incentive?
Seriously, it's not sustainable.
It really is.
And it doesn't even have to be this way. That's the crazy thing. This is all manufactured. It's been man-made. And again, it's by, the group of people at the top who tend to vote GOP, who tend to have ties to the GOP. And yet Americans still keep voting for these people. That's what I don't get. They're just sticking that fork in their own eye repeatedly over and over and over again. And the Democrats can't seem to take advantage of that. They can't seem to get their shit together. Somehow Republicans manage to get it together and get it done in their evil, vicious ways. And the Democrats just sit around pointing fingers at each other and, sending strongly worded letters from Chuck Schumer. And it's maddening because they are just a bunch of fucking, with some exceptions, there are some really good ones that are ready to fight and stand up. But some of them are just happy to either go along for the ride or not make waves or just tisk.
Sure.
It's just embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
That's the old guy who's been around for a while. It all comes down to voter rights. I mean, let's be honest. The John Lewis Voter Right Act should have been done a decade ago. It should have been done on his passing. It could have been done on the anniversary of his passing. We still don't have it done. And to say that they're winning these elections, yeah, I agree with you 100%. They line up and they vote in step with whatever they are hating on that day. But I still don't believe that he took all 7 swing states. This guy keeps talking about it, just barely enough, this, that, and the other. I think, again, we're looking at stolen elections. That's why he can't stop talking about 2020 being stolen. 2016 with the influence. I mean, it took everything Pooty Poot could do, along with outside interests, to get him over the top. And I don't even really buy that scenario either. But the Kamala Harris thing, it's just ridiculous. We saw people turning out to see her rallies. We saw him flop sweating, and people that wore the red hats were just kind of it's boring, same old shit. But here's something. Now he's in power again, and we're still getting the same old shit. Same old stories, man. Stolen elections, Barack Hussein Obama.
Oh, I know.
Just the nonsense that just keeps going on. Who even wants to hear that stuff? It's such a time suck.
I know. Yet there's some people that can't get enough of it still. They just eat it up.
Well, they're clearly out of their minds.
Yeah. Late stage cult members.
I did want to point out with Social Security, which they all say is the devil, and you're not going to get yours, and it's an entitlement. Whereas we all know that people pay into Social Security, it's your money, you should be getting it back. But Social Security tax is capped at $184,500. So once you make more than $185,000, you're no longer giving to Social Security. Which it seems like even if you bump that up to $300,000. Seems reasonable, or maybe skip to a higher level where if you're making over $1 million a year, now you go back into giving into Social Security, something. Because why would somebody making 10 times somebody else pay the same into Social Security and then still draw from it the way they do, as if they're equal, when clearly they're not?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Although I think you're not eligible if you had a certain income. I'm not sure about that, but it's just again, everything is skewed to the upper class, to the top 1%, the highest value Americans. And that's just bullshit.
Because they'll give back and take care of those that need, because that's the American way. But we're finding out that's really not the case.
Yeah, no, that was a line of bullshit that we were sold.
Yeah, I would agree. It just seems kind of low in what you're giving. And then on top of that, these high earners aren't paying into their taxes anyway. They have a great way of hiding their money, offshoring their money, whatever it takes to not have to pay, as if they're really good Americans and patriotic. And it's all about, like Trump said, hey, if you're not cheating, you're not trying, then you're stupid.
Yeah, and if you're not super wealthy, you don't matter, because you know what? We're super wealthy because we're better than you.
Right on.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, it's just, they're just not giving their fair share when they can, and they're just hoarding money, as you always say. They got a hoarding problem, and they truly do.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know how that's going to affect most of us moving forward. The one example that they gave was at Costco. Excuse me. They noticed that their members went from buying beef, which is now outrageously priced, to chicken. And now they've moved to canned tuna. You do need your protein. I'm not dissing on canned tuna, but read the tea leaves. They get some of the best prices at Sam's Club and Costco, and these people are also, streamlining on what they're able to buy. And this is going to be a thing where we're going to see gas is going to be expensive and maybe not as readily available as it had been. All kinds of things come through the strait. We talked about helium for MRIs. I mean, it's a laundry list. Sulfuric acid, I believe, is another thing that passes through in order to make fertilizer. Fertilizer is something else that we don't have. Now, Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins will tell you we got tons and tons and we don't need. And then Trump will tell you, hey, all these foreign nations are coming and buying oil, pulling right up to Texas and loving our oil. You're giving away our
oil
reserve.
We're not getting when we need it, because where's that money going? Where are those profits going? Where does the money from the Venezuelan oil go? Right into Trump's pocket.
Pretty much.
He's not sharing.
And Venezuela could become the 51st state. Trump's really considering that. because he's of right mind and body.
Oh yeah, very sound mind, the soundest of all minds and bodies.
If I took this shirt off, immaculate physique, I'll tell you what. Scars everywhere, but I'm amazing and I'm just so terrific.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's concerning. It's certainly something we're going to have to watch and be aware of. Resources are kind of dwindling, and we seem to be having people just selling them for personal gain, it would seem, which isn't going to bode well for the rest of us when things start to get tight.
Nope.
I know you're on a bit of a tight schedule. Any happy endings for you? Come on, Billy.
I'm about to get a break from talking about this stuff for a while, so that's kind of nice. But it's important. We need to do it. It's got to get out there, and hopefully, people are paying attention. But yeah, sometimes you just need to unplug from this because this is bullshit. They're just overwhelming us, and it's one thing after another. Every time I look up, Trump is on one of the TVs blabbing away about some shit.
Yeah,
it's just ridiculous.
You see him at the gym, you see him at the grocery store, you see him waiting at the doctor's office. I mean, it's just too much. And I think part of that is to put him out there to show that he's not all fucked up, but he is. These are staged appearances. He's surrounded by his handlers. And it all comes down to this, the Epstein files. He's in it a ton. Lutnick under oath in private behind doors with Congress startled a lot of people with his ability to lie. Shift blame and absolve himself of whatever. We know you got the nanny from Jeffrey, okay? We know that you said you didn't associate with them, but then you took your family along with the nannies and your children there. You have a plaster Paris of your face in the room where they were removing children's teeth. Come on, man. How dumb are we?
We're not that dumb. Some of us are dumb, but we're not all that dumb. And he's just a evil, vile creature.
And it's sad to me because the victims are now coming forth and saying, hey, you know what? I was Jane Doe, but then you blasted my information all over the place. And I wake up and I have people contacting me from here, there, and wherever. And they're like, hey, if I'm going to be no longer Jane Doe, then hear my story. And that's what it's going to take. These brave.
They're showing tremendous courage.
Agreed. So hopefully that'll continue to push. I know they're still digging in New Mexico. Again, it's a state investigation. And if you were hearing about it every day, the feds would definitely clamp down on that. So I'm hoping that they're making progress quietly and that people are getting sick of the culture of raping children, essentially. Okay. Who's okay with that? Nobody.
It's so sickening.
It's disturbing. My happy ending will be that the Pirates are hanging in there. And the fact that they had the toughest schedule in baseball so far, and there's still several games above 500 and competing in their very tough division right now. I'm holding out hope. They lost me for one day, but I'm back.
Yeah, we're back, baby. Let's see it.
Yeah, I'd like to see it. Let's get to July 4th. I think that's what you asked for. Just get us to July and still caring.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
I also saw that the general manager of the Penguins, Kyle Dubas, said that they would love to have Gino come back.
But
no buts.
Hopefully there's no butt hanging at the end of that.
I don't think there's any butt, and I think he'll get
good. I think it's the right thing.
Sign. I think so too. It's kind of a no-brainer. I'm sorry.
One more year. Why not?
Yeah, one more year. Do it.
He can contribute.
Point a game last year definitely brought some energy, and like Letang, love him or hate him in that locker room, they call him legend. You can't make that stuff up, and he's earned that right. So
I would agree. Pillars of the franchise.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Billy. Well, I know I got to let you go. I do appreciate you working at this earlier time to get through this. And
appreciate you being flexible.
Always. And maybe we'll catch up later.
All right, sounds good.
You have a good rest of your day.
You too.
Thank you. Talk to you soon.
See ya.
See ya.